Hello, love. I hope this letter finds you well. Today, I'm writing to you to do a chalk pastel painting with you. It is officially on the calendar springtime. So I wanted to do a chalk pastel painting of a few spring flowers to help get me in the spring mood. Just celebrate the fact that it is, in fact, officially springtime. I've got a couple of images of flowers over here, and I've got my chalk pastels laid out over here. I've got several options, and I don't have much of a plan going in, and honestly I don't have much experience with chalk pastels, but let's see how this goes. First one I want to do is a rose, but a pink rose, not a red rose. I feel like red roses are very Valentine's, and pink roses are more springtime. So I think I want this one to the left of the canvas just a little bit. And I'm starting with just the mid-tones. This is not a very dark color, not a very light color. It's more of a mid-tone. And I kind of want to just give that's a very bright pink. Vague impressions of petals. I do tend to prefer the age, the era of Impressionism in art. I know, I'm so basic. But I don't know. I love the art of realism in that a human being can see an image and recreate it flawlessly. I do think that is incredibly impressive. And there's something beautiful in sketchy art or anime, cartooning, all kinds of styles, but Impressionism I love in that you can look at it up close and see just blobs or blocks of paint. It looks like absolutely nothing, just a mess on a canvas. And then step back, and once you have a change of perspective, the image becomes clear. I don't know, I just love that concept. I do have a tendency to get caught up in the tedious details of drawing, and I've come up with some very good artwork using just pencils on paper. But again, the type of art I like is impressionistic art, and so I would like to be able to just produce art using blocks of color. And that's difficult to do with just black pencils on white paper. But I also absolutely hate painting. I absolutely hate it. I applaud anyone who is able to do it and enjoys it and can create beautiful art with it. I cannot. I find that when I push a brush, the bristles of the brush, onto the canvas, it smooshes and then drags. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. But it slides in directions that I did not tell it to. And gets completely away from me. With a pencil, I have the point of the pencil going directly onto the page, and I know precisely where that mark is going to be on the page because I put it there directly from the pencil to the page. But the paintbrush has a mind of its own, and perhaps I'm just doing it wrong, and you should just let the brush do what it does. And I don't know, perhaps I'm a control freak, but that frustrates me to no end. And so I had hoped that in doing chalk pastels, I could find some sort of middle ground. I can get the precision of where I put the medium to the paper is precisely where the mark will be on the paper, but also be able to just block in color and then have, just color on the page. I'm enjoying this. It is fun seeing how it's turning out. Don't worry, I'll show you at the end. But again, to be able to block in color instead of getting bogged down in the details, which is another beautiful art form, and I applaud anyone who has the time and energy and effort to put towards drawing. But I find most of the time I do not. So, again, I had hoped that in doing chalk pastels, I would be able to find a middle ground and be able to just block in color and call it impressionism. But so far I have done a total of 1.5 chalk pastel paintings. I have spent so much of my money on supplies for chalk pastels that I have not used. But 1.5 times not including this time, so 1.5 and a beginning. But now we make time for it. This is more of a berry color, but yeah, I think that's adding the depth that I want. I need to not get bogged down in the details. Just impressions. Just impressions. And if it ends up looking like a blob, we'll call it a learning experience. Which is totally valid considering how little experience I do have. I need to be gaining that experience, but that is a hard thing for me to tell myself, unless I'm good at it the moment I start it. It's hard for me to stick with it, but it's the sticking with it that will make you better at it over time and whatnot. All that jargon. I want a bit of gray. For some shadowy effects. I don't know how I feel about that. Don't want to add much of that. I think I want some more of the pink I was using. Didn't bring this petal over far enough. There we go. That looks like something resembling a rose, I think. Okay, and now for some lighter pinks. I need lighter than that. It's not quite the shade I want, but I think it's giving me the effect I'm going for. Yeah. I think I could have made it a little bit bigger, but again, a learning experience. I don't know. I think I'll leave that flower for now. Come back to it a bit later. I say as I continue working with it into the ground. Yes, I like that shape better. And part of chalk pastels is the build-up. You have to pile it on itself for it to not have enough pigment on the page that it's not filled with a bunch of gaps. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not just making mistakes and covering them up. I'm building chalk pastels on itself. Okay. Well, there we go. That's what it needed. A little bit of layering. There it is. Yep, 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 yep. Made it too hard on myself. Okay. All right. Now, let's move on to a different flower. This one has some deep purples in it. I think I want it. Ooh. I've got several different brands of chalk pastels. Just ones I've collected over time. And different ones have different textures. This one had a very creamy texture that I find I'm quite fond of. and it really allows for the pigment to hit the page. I think I want a couple of these. Now, this one, I don't know, let's do a few lighter strokes. I like that effect. And a white pastel. To blend it all inward. Toward the center of the flower. Make the petals actually look like petals and not starfish. Not that you have any context for what I'm talking about, but like I said, I'll show it to you. I'm using the white almost as a blending tool. I'm finding that I like that effect. Okay, we'll go ahead and... yeah. Okay. Now this needs a little bit of an orange yellow right at the center. Yeah. That's very cute. For one of my first chalk pastel paintings ever, I'm not too mad at it. It just warms my heart to see color. I find that anytime the weather changes, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at that. Look at that tree. It's pink. Look at that tree. It's red. Look at that tree. It's white. Luckily, my husband thinks it's cute and not obnoxious. Speaking of my husband, I wanted to do his favorite flower. The daffodil. I don't know, this is all basically one color, so it's kind of hard to differentiate. I love those sounds. But we'll see. We'll do our best. We can, at the very least, get something resembling the shape I don't know how much you can hear the wind outside, but it is terribly ironic that I would choose to do chalk pastel painting about the spring, about the beautiful spring flowers, on a night that it's this stormy. It is windy out there. Let's try. Yeah. Okay. It's hard to tell what that is. Oh, that's helping. I don't know. I'm kind of happy with it. Lighter yellow to soften it up. I don't know. I don't know. I think daffodils I'll have to work on. I've got a rose, I've got a daffodil. Not sure what those are. They might be violets. Who can say? That's something. There we go. Adding some depth. Not too much though. No. Still too dark. Still too dark. Like this one. And honestly, whether I become a great artist or not, I'm having quite a bit of fun. I think that's getting the vague idea of doing what I want it to do. I think it needs a little more wrinkles. yeah, I think I love that. It's a cute little outline. Then I think I'll use the yellow to sort of do what I did with the white on the other one, as kind of a blending tool. I think that's a daffodil. And then we need yes. I think we might call that good for now. Kind of want to outline all of them, but I don't know if I should. I think I should. So long as I'm careful. I think going forward, when I'm making artwork and not just practicing, as it were, I would add more to the background. Give it a backdrop. But I think for today, I will have just drawn some pretty spring flowers. And that will do. I did just realize that I hadn't erased anything so far. And that is wild. Whenever I'm drawing with pencils, it is nothing but erase and redraw, erase and redraw, erase and redraw. So I do think that doing chalk pastels has added to my sense of freedom in my artistic expression. Which is, again, precisely what I wanted from this experience. By toying with this particular medium. And then the rose. I am very happy with how this turned out. It's nothing to put up in a museum, but if art is there to evoke an emotion, communicate and express a feeling, it has brought me joy. So, it has served its purpose. I don't know, I feel like I want to add. I don't have any stems for any of my flowers, and I feel like the daffodil in particular, a huge part of the flower is the stem. Being very thick. So I think I'll add it. Oh, that instantly made it look more childish. Oh, let's see. There we go. Maybe. Perhaps I should have left well enough alone, but again, a learning experience. I don't know. Perhaps it didn't ruin it. Those are very unique. Let's go ahead and bring that all the way to the bottom of the canvas. And then these kind of just have blades sticking out. Oh, hey, I did that pretty well on accident. You know what? I'm not mad at it. Awesome. So this one has just a thin blade of grass that has like a white streak going down the middle of each blade. And I kind of accidentally did a white streak down the blades. I'll take it. So, one of my first chalk pastel drawings ever has turned out all right, I think. Okay. Let's do a little outline. Then I need to call this done. Okay. All right. So, as promised, here is that finished chalk pastel painting. Until I write to you again, rest well. P.S. A very special thank you to my pen pal patrons, SpinebusterTee, Feisty Achievement, and Kacey. Your support means more to me than I can express. Thank you.